Star Wars: The High Republic. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll put it closer. Um, this is an actual book, as you can see. It has a bunch of pages in there. I think there's at least like 300 pages, 355 pages on this book. We're gonna do at least 30 minutes of this. Possibly do an hour, depending on how interesting. Like, to be honest, books aren't really my thing, but if it's something Star Wars, I'll read it no matter what. But I'm thinking we'll do at least half an hour of this, and then we'll move on to some gameplay, whether it be a random game or do some Fallout 76, whichever, or we'll see. But yeah, come on, come around, everybody. Get your popcorn, get your reading glasses. Get something of Star Wars that you have, like whether it be a hat or a mask. And the book I'll start reading shortly. But yeah, this is one of the first issues. I believe there's currently 3 books altogether. This takes place before. Look at this. Look at that. It's a little kind of hard to see, but it's a little a whole page is just of the logo there. I think you can color it if you want. I'm not gonna do that. This is written by Charles Soule. Star Wars: The High Republic, Light of the Jedi, The Oracle Year, Anyone, a novel. So, in the description, says that the galaxy is at peace, ruled by the glorious Republic and protected by the noble and wise Jedi Knights. As a symbol of all that is good, the Republic is about to launch a starlight beacon into the far reaches of the Outer Rim. The new space station will serve as a ray of hope for all to see. Now, I'm not going to read all that because I don't want to give it all away. But this takes place right before the Phantom Menace. And there's 2 other books. One is called Dooku Jedi Lost, and the other one is Master and Apprentice. And as you can also see, it shows other books that have been written as well, that are part of the saga. You see, there's the Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, the Solo. So there's books in the Solo timeline. Or maybe they are Solo, so they're not related. See, there's Rogue One, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. Sorry. I'm a little allergic to The Rise of Skywalker. I don't mind any other movie, to be honest. Just Rise of Skywalker really made me kind of... It really put me off, off edge. But I'm interested. There's, few of these books. I'm thinking about getting a Thrawn after this, or get Dooku Jedi Lost. As I got this on Amazon, thinking that I was getting the comic book. But that's fine. That's fine. I think it's better to have a hard copy of a book than something that could easily be teared and thrown away. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the book. Don't go away, guys. If you're late, that's fine. I'll be here for a bit. Actually, I think I'll be here for at least a couple hours tonight. Yeah. So strap on in. We're gonna start right now. All right. Wait. Hold on. Let's see what's gonna put us into mood. Let's find... Yeah, we'll stay with this. And if it gets too boring, we'll change it. All right. So, you guys prefer with music or without music? Because I can shut the music off. If anybody prefers no music, we can do without music. All right, guys. Let's get ready. We're starting Light of the Jedi. All right. Let's go to something. Let's switch to lo-fi for a bit. Let's see how that goes. I believe I have lo-fi. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. All right, cool. Ready? All right. Chapter 1, which is, hold on. I'm not good at handling stuff. Give me a sec. Oh, this is not chapter 1. I don't think. Wait, hold on. This is the introduction. So this is the introduction. God, that is not showing up on camera very well. That's fine. Okay. The Force is with the galaxy. All right. The Force is with the galaxy. It is the time of the High Republic. A peaceful union of like-minded worlds where all voices are heard and governance is achieved through the consensus, not correction, no fear. I think I said that right. Whatever, we'll move on. It is an era of ambience, of culture, of inclusion, of great works. Visionary Chancellor Lena Saab leads Pacific Republic from the elegant city world of Coruscant, located near the bright center of the galactic core. But beyond the core and its many peaceful colonies, there is Rim Inner, Mid, and finally, at the border of what is known the Outer Rim, these worlds are filled with opportunity for those brave enough to travel the few well-mapped hyperspace lanes leading to them. Though there is a danger as well, the Outer Rim is a space lane leading to them. Wait. I read that. Oh my god, dude. Okay, hold on. There is a danger as well. The Outer Rim is a haven for anyone seeking to escape the laws of the Republic, and is filled with predators of every type. Chancellor Saab has pledged to bring the Outer Rim worlds into the embrace of the Republic through ambitious outreach programs such as the Starlight Beacon. But until it is brought online, order and justice are maintained on the galactic frontier by Jedi Knights, guardians of peace who are mastered incredible abilities stemming from a mysterious energy field known as the Force. I'm going to snooze this ad because I don't want to run any ads right now. I don't know why it assumes that I want to run an ad break, but I don't. Alright, the Jedi work closely with the Republic and have agreed to establish outposts in the Outer Rim to help any who might require aid. The Jedi of the Frontier can be the only resource for people with nowhere else to turn. Though the outposts operate independently and without direct assistance from the Great Jedi Temple on Coruscant, they act as an effective deterrent to those who would do evil in the dark. Few can stand against the Knights of the Jedi Order, but there are always those who will try. Now this next part is why I have this background behind me. So, Chapter 1. Hyperspace, the Legacy Run. 3 hours to impact. All is well. Captain Hedda Cassette reviewed the readouts and displays built into her command chair for the second time. She always went over them at least twice. She had more than 4 decades of flying behind her, and figured the double check was a large part of the reason she'd survive all that time. The second look confirmed everything she'd seen the first. All is well, she said, out loud this time, announcing it to her bridge crew. Time for my rounds, Lieutenant Bowman. You have the bridge. Acknowledged, Captain, her first officer replied, standing from his own seat in preparation to occupy hers until she returned from the evening constitutional. Not very long, Hall Freighter Captain ran their ship like a military vessel. That's where this comes in. Not every long-haul freighter captain ran their ship like a military vessel. Hedda had seen starships with stained floors and leaking pipes and cracks in their cockpit viewports. Lapses that speared her to her very soul, but Hedda Cassette began her career as a fighter pilot with the Malastare Celeste Joint Task Force, keeping order in their little sector on the border of the Mid-Rim. She started out flying an Incom Z-24, a single-seat fighter everyone just called a buzzbug. Most security missions, hunting down pirates and the like. Eventually, she rose to command a heavy cruiser, one of the largest vessels in the fleet. A good career, doing good work. She left Molust JTF with a distinction and moved on to a job captaining merchant vessels for the Bind Guild. Her version of a relaxed retirement. But 30 plus years in the military meant order and discipline weren't just for her blood. They were her blood. So every ship she flew now has run like it was about to fight to cease a battle against a Hutt armada. Even if it was just carrying a load of Orgrut hides from World A to World B. This ship, the Legacy Run, was no exception. Hedda stood, accepting and returning Lieutenant Jerry Bowman's snap salute. She stretched, feeling the bones in her spine crackle and crunch. Too many years on patrol in tiny cockpits, too many high-G maneuvers, sometimes in combat. Too many years on patrol in tiny... Fuck, I read that wrong. Let's go back. Okay. Sometimes in combats. Sometimes just because it made her feel alive. The real problem though, she thought, tucking a stray strand of gray hair behind one ear, is too many years. She left the bridge, departing the precise machine of her command deck and walking along a compact corridor into the larger, more chaotic world of the Legacy Run. The ship was a Yaniv Yards Class A modular freight transport, more than twice as old as Hedda herself. That put the craft on a bit past her ideal operational life, but well within its safe parameters if she was well maintained and regularly serviced, which she was. Her captain saw to that. The Run was a mixed-use ship, rated for both cargo and passengers, hence modular in its designation. Most of the vessel's structures was taken up by a single gigantic compartment, shaped like a long, triangular prism, with engineering aft, the bridge force, and the rest of the space allotted for cargo. Hollow boom arms protruded as the central spine at regular intervals, to which additional smaller modules could be attached. The ship could hold up to 144 of these, each customizable to handle every kind of cargo that Galaxy had to offer. Hedda liked that the ship could haul just about anything it meant. Anything. It meant you never knew what you were going to get, what weird challenges you might face from one job to the next. She had flown the ship once. Half the cargo space in the primary compartment was reconfigured into a huge water tank. To carry a gigantic saberfish from the storm seas on Tiburon to the private aquarium of a countess on Abrigado Ray. Hedda and her crew have gotten the beast there safely. Not an easy gig. Even harder, though, was getting the creature back to the Tiburon 3 cycles later. When the blasted thing got sick because the countless peoples had no idea how to take care of it. She gave the woman credit, though. She paid full freight to send the saberfish home. A lot of nobles especially would have let it just die. This particular ship, in comparison, was as simple as they came. The Legacy's run cargo sections were about 80% filled with the settlers heading to the outer rim from overpopulated core and colony worlds. Seeking new lives, new opportunities, new skies. She could relate to that. Hedda Cassette had been restless all her life. She had a feeling she'd die that way too, looking out a viewport, hoping her eyes would land on something she'd never seen before. Because of this was a transport run. Most of the ship's modules were basic passenger configurations. With open seating, they converted into beds that were, in theory, comfortable enough to sleep in. Sanitary facilities, storage, a few hollow screens, small galleys, and that was it. For settlers willing to pay the increased comfort and convenience, some had droid-operated auto canteens and private sleeping compartments, but not many. These people were frugal. If they had credits to begin with, they probably wouldn't be heading to the Outer Rim to scrape out a future. The dark edge of the galaxy was a place of challenges both exciting and deadly. More deadly than exciting, in truth. Even the road to get out here is tricky. Had a thought, her gaze drawn by the swirl of hyperspace outside the large porthole she happened to be passing. She snapped her eyes away, knowing she could end up standing there for 20 minutes if she let herself get sucked in. You could trust hyperspace. It was useful, sure. It got you from here to there. It was the key to the expansion of the Republic, from out of the core, but no one really understood it. If your Navi droid miscalculated the coordinates even a little, you could end up off the marked route. The main road would, however, through whatever hyperspace was. Oh, we gotta add. Okay, hold on. Let's hold on that right now. Hopefully I can find it. We got an ad right now? My god, it caught up to me. Okay. Take a minute break right now.
There's a couple doors in there that are locked, key locked. Stuff I can't see.
Maybe because it's personal belongings. Do you ever think of that? Do you ever think it could be personal belongings?
Well, I found this inside. So, I'm a little suspicious.
Jesus Christ, dude, my horse scared me. Somebody clip that for me, please. Yeah, because it said like I left the horse in the road, so from a like when I think like I don't like what is it? It didn't register to me quickly, so I look up. The first thing I think of is somebody. Welcome back. We are resuming. Ooh, let me just pull my hoodie over here a bit. So we are continuing on the book. We have 40 minutes, so let's make these 40 minutes count. Alright, from where we left off, I believe... Ah, yes. Hyperspace. Okay. I'm gonna put my mic up just a bit. Oh, stuff's falling. Okay. Why is this sliding? Okay. Alright, guys. So, if the Navi droid miscalculated the coordinates, even a little, you could end up off the marked route. The main road through whatever hyperspace actually was. And then you'd be in a dark path leading to who knew where. It happened even in the well-traveled hyperlanes near the Galactic Center, and out here, where the prospectors had barely mapped out any routes. Well, you had to watch yourself. She put her concerns out of her mind and continued on her way. The truth was, the Legacy Run was currently speeding along the best-traveled, best-known route to the Outer Rim worlds. Ships move through this hyperlane constantly, in both directions. Nothing to worry about, right? But then, more than 9,000 souls aboard the ship were depending on Captain Hedda Cassette to get them safely to their destination. She worried. It was her job. Hedda exited the corridor and entered the central hall, emerging in a large circular space, an open spot necessitated by the ship's structure, and had been repurposed as a sort of unofficial common area. A group of children kicked a ball around as adults stood and chatted nearby, all just enjoying a little break from the cramped confines of the modules where they spent most of their time. The space wasn't fancy, just a bare function spot where several short corridors met, but it was clean. The ship employed at its captain's insisted an automated maintenance crew that kept its interiors neat and sanitary. One of the custodial droids was spidering its way along the wall that very moment, performing one of the endless tasks required on a ship the size of the Run. She took a moment to take a stock of this group, 20 or so, all ages from a number of worlds. Humans, of course, but also a few four-armed, fur-covered Ardenians. A family of giving with their distinctive triangular eyes, and even Atlantic with its pinched face. Top knot and huge, pointed ears protruding from the side of its head. You didn't see as many of those around. But no matter, their planet of origin, they were just all ordinary beings, biding time until their new lives could begin. One of the kids looked up. "Captain Cassette!" the boy said, a human, olive-skinned with red hair. She knew him. "Hello, Serge," Hedda said. "What's the good word? Everything all right here?" The other children stopped their game and clustered around her. "Could use some new hollows," Serge said. "We've watched everything in the system." "All we got is all we got," Hedda replied. Stop trying to slice into the archive to see the age-restricted titles. "You think I don't know? This is my ship. I know everything that happens along the Legacy Run." She leaned forward. "Everything." Serge blushed and looked towards his friends, who had also suddenly found very interesting things to look at on the absolutely uninteresting floors, ceiling, and walls of the chamber. "Don't worry about it," she said. "I get it. This is a pretty boring ride. You won't believe me, but in not too long, when your parents have you plowing fields or building fences or fighting off rancors, you'll be dreaming of the time you spent on this ship. Just relax and enjoy." Serge rolled his eyes and returned to whatever improvised ball game he and the other kids had devised. Hedda grinned and moved through the room, nodding and chatting as she went. People probably some good, some bad, but for the next few days, her people. She loved these runs. No matter what eventually happened in the lives of these folks, they were heading. Hold on. They were heading to the rim to make their dreams come true. She was part of that, and it made her feel good. Chancellor Souls, Republic wasn't perfect. No government was, or ever could be, but it was a system that gave people room to dream. No, even better, it encouraged dreams, big and small. Republic had flaws, but really, things could be a hell of a lot worse. Hedda's rounds took over an hour. She made her way through the passenger compartments, but also checked on a shipment of supercooled liquid. Supercooled liquid Tabana to make sure the oh my god, I'm bad at reading. I'm very sorry, guys. To make sure the volatile stuff was properly locked down. It was. Inspected the engines. All good. Investigated the status of repairs, the ship's environmental recirculation systems. In progress and proceeding nicely. And made sure fuel reserves were still more than adequate for the rest of the journey with a comfortable margin besides. They were. The Legacy run was exactly as she wanted it to be. A tiny, well-maintained world in the wilderness, a warm bubble of safety holding back the void. She couldn't vouch for what was waiting for these settlers once they dispersed into the outer rim, but she would make sure they got there safe and sound to find out. Hedda returned to the bridge. Lieutenant Bowman all but leapt to his feet the moment he saw her center. Hold on, where am I? Captain on the bridge, he said. The officer sat up straighter. Thank you, Jerry, Hedda said as her second stepped aside and returned to his post. Hedda settled onto her command chair, automatically checking the displays, scanning off for anything out of the ordinary. All is well, she thought. Ka-toon, ka-toon, ka-toon. An alarm and assistant at the bridge. Lightning flipped to his emergency configuration. Bathing anything in red. Through the front viewport, the swirls of hypersafe looked off somehow. Maybe it was an emergency lighting, or she had a reddish tinge. They looked sickly. Hedda felt her pulse quicken. Her mind snapped into combat made without thinking. Report! She barked out her eyes, whipping along her own set of screens to find the source of the alarm. Alarm generated by Navicomp, Captain, called out her navigator, Cadet Kulwar, a young Quermian. There's something in the hyperlens. Dead ahead. Big. Impact in 10 seconds. The cadet's voice held steady, and Hedda was proud of him. He probably wasn't that much older than Serge. She knew this situation was impossible. The hyperlanes were empty. That was the whole point. She couldn't rattle off the science involved, but she did know that the light speed collisions in established lanes simply could not happen. It was mathematically absurd to hear the engineers talk about it. Hedda had been flying in deep space long enough to know that impossible things happened all the time, every damn day. She also knew that 10 seconds was in no time at all, speeds like the Legacy run was traveling. You can't trust hyperspace, she thought. Hedda Cassette tapped 2 buttons on her command console. Brace yourselves, she said, her voice calm. I'm taking control. 2 piloting sticks snapped up in front of the armrest of her captain's chair and Hedda grasped, each in one hand. She spared the time for one breath, and then she flew. The Legacy run was not an Incom Z-24 Buzzbug, or even one of the New Republic Longbeam. It had been in service for well over a century. It was a freighter at the end of, if not beyond, its operational lifespan, loaded to capacity with engines designed for slow, gradual acceleration and deceleration, and docking with spaceports, orbital loading facilities, and maneuvered like a moon. The Legacy run was no warship, not even close, but Hedda flew it like one. She saw the obstacle in her path, and with her pilot's eye. Oh god, I got a thick page here. Hold on. Feels like 2 pages. Give me a sec. Oh god. Alright. Now this is the problem. With her pilot's eye and instincts, saw it advancing as incredibly velocity, large enough that both her ship and whatever the thing would be disintegrated into atoms. Just dust drifting forever through the hyperlanes. There was no time to avoid it. Ship could not make the turn. There was no room, and there was no time. But Captain Hedda Cassette was at the helm. She would not fail her ship. The tiniest tweak of the left control stick, and a larger rotation of the right, and the Legacy run moved, more than it wanted to, but no less than its captain believed it could. The huge freighter slipped past the obstacle in her path, the thing shooting by their hull so close Hedda was sure she felt it ruffle her hair despite the many layers of metal and shielding between them. But they were alive, no impact. The ship was alive! Turbulence, and Hedda fought it, feeling her way through the jagged bumps and ripples, closing her eyes, not needing to see to fly. The ship groaned, its frame complaining. "You can do it, old gal," she said out loud. "We're a couple of cranky old ladies, and that's for sure, but we've got a lot of life to live. I've taken damn good care of you, and you know it. I won't let you know it. I won't let you down if you won't let me down." Hedda did not fail her ship. It failed her. The groan of overstressed metal became a scream. The vibrations of the ship passage through space took on a new timbre Hedda had felt too many times before. It was the feeling of a ship that had moved beyond its limits. Whether taken from too much damage in a firefight, or, as here, just being asked to perform a maneuver that was more than it could give, the Legacy run was tearing itself apart. At most, it had seconds left. Hedda opened her eyes. She realized the control sticks and tapped out commands on her console, activating like a bulkhead shielding that separated each cargo module in the instance of a disaster. Thinking that perhaps it might give some of the people aboard a chance, she thought about Serge and his friends playing in the common area and how the emergency doors had just slammed down the entrance to each passenger module, possibly strapping them in a zone that was about to become a vacuum. She hoped the children had gone to their families when the alarm sounded. She didn't know. She just didn't know. Hedda locked eyes with the first officer who was staring at her, knowing what was about to happen. He saluted. "Captain?" Lieutenant Bowman said. "It's been in the bridge ripped open. Hedda Cassette died, not knowing if she had saved anyone at all." Alright, well that was supposed to be an explosion. Kind of messed up there. Why do I not have explosion on here? It would have been this sound here. Well, I messed up on that. Good enough. Alright. So that, I believe, was the first chapter. I think we'll hold it there. We've been reading this for about 40 minutes now. I just gotta put something in here so that I don't forget. And this is my